Hello, did you know that you could get arrested for drink driving in the city of Gnork? Well, you can, and here's how you do it. So you can play with vehicles in Space Kits. What you do is you buy a regular Git, this guy would cost 5 caps, and then you upgrade him by buying him a ride. This buggy would cost 7 caps, and then you can add weapons and mods to upgrade it. Vehicles have got some new stats. They've got engine stat, which is the maximum size of move dice that the vehicle can roll during a scoot action. Handling, which is the fastest that this vehicle can safely move, and if you roll a move dice greater than your handling, you're going to suffer a damage. And seats, which is the number of Gits that can ride in the vehicle. The first Git on board is always the driver, and then the rest become passengers. Only orcs, bullorcs and goblins can drive vehicles. Vehicles can have as many guns as they have seats, and when you bolt them on, you either say that they are fixed, which means the driver can fire them, or pintle mounted, which means you need a passenger to fire them. Now the thing about vehicles is that they have a front and a back, so you need to draw a line across the middle of the vehicle, and the front half is the front arc and the rear arc is the rear arc. They've also got a front corridor, which is the line out the front of them that's as wide as they are. To move a vehicle in Space Kits, you roll 3 dice of any size that you like up to a maximum of the vehicle's engine. So this buggy here has got an engine stat of D12, which means it can roll 3 dice up to D12s. So I could roll 3 D12s or a couple of D6 and a D12 or some D8, like whatever I like. When you roll the dice, it matters whether they land in front of the vehicle or behind the vehicle. So for the sake of demonstration, let's say we've rolled some dice and they landed here. I can choose to resolve them in any order. I've got to resolve them all. All of these dice are currently in the front arc, so I get to do the front arc thing with dice, which is you pivot until the dice is in the vehicle's front arc, and then you move directly forwards, number of inches equal to the dice. I could resolve this 1, for example, and pivot until the 1 lies within my front arc, at least partially, and then move forward an inch, and then discard the dice. I'm going to resolve this pivoting until this dice lies in my front arc, and then I'm going to move 9 inches forward. So when you bump into a cap, you just pick it up and you carry on moving. When you bump into a dice, you take a damage and you stop moving. So you stop moving just like you would if you move into it with a foot-based Git. And the tower gets stacked in contact with the vehicle. And as we'll see, vehicles actually stack dice in 2 towers. So I don't get to finish the remaining couple of inches there because I bumped into the dice, so that dice is over. Now I've got this final dice that I have to resolve. It is in my rear arc, so it gets resolved in a different way. Instead of pivoting towards it and moving, I simply move directly forwards without pivoting. So it just sends me off in this direction, 6 inches. I bump into that cap, pause, pick it up, and I carry on scooting off into the sunset. Vroom! Whoops, I should have moved that dice with me. When you resolve a dice that's behind you, you also take a damage. The handling of this guy is 10, so the 1, the 9 and the 6 were all below his handling, and so he didn't take any damage for that. All right, let's look at what happens when vehicles move into Gits. Now when you bump into a fallen Git, the controller of the fallen Git moves them the minimum distance to get them out of the path of your movement, and then you steal a cap off them, and you carry on moving. Now if you accidentally drive into a friendly Git, one of yours, then you similarly make the minimum movement to hop out of the way and then continue your movement. And the guy that hopped out of the way takes a swig for hopping out of the way. What happens when you move into an enemy Git? A fight breaks out. There's a few differences in this fight. The first is that it doesn't end the vehicle's activation. You're going to throw thump, shove and pinch as normal, just with a couple of twists. The first is that if the vehicle ends up doing a thump, then it actually smashes instead, which is a kind of attack that's resolved slightly differently. And if the Git throws shove, they can't actually shove the vehicle, it's too heavy. So instead, they shove off, which means they get to move 3 inches in any direction, sort of dodging out of the way. Now these rules work the other way around. If a Git scoots into an enemy vehicle, that triggers a fight. And similarly for the vehicle, thumps become smashes, and for the Git, shoves become shove off. Other things that you can crash into, you can move into terrain. So if you move into terrain, you basically make a smash against yourself. The way that smashes work is you take your current speed, which is whatever the dice that you're using to move, and your toughness, which for a buggy is 5, and then you gather that many d6. These smash dice are basically like damage dice. They've got a weak damage of 0 and a big damage of 1, which means you roll them, and any which equals or beats your toughness, in this case 5, would do you a damage. 1, 2. 2 more damage dice stacked up there. The other place that you use the smash rules is when you crash into another vehicle. So if you're resolving a move dice and you drive straight into an enemy vehicle, then you both roll smashes against each other. You have a current speed, in this case it would be 5, so you roll slightly more dice. Outside of its activation, a vehicle has a current speed of 0, so they would just roll a number of smash dice equal to their toughness. When you do smashes, if the target is touching your front edge, then they do +1/+1 damage. The final rule that I want to tell you about is the wipeout rule. So when a vehicle's dice tower falls over, the vehicle doesn't fall over. Instead, it wipes out. So if the dice tower tumbles, the driver's lost control and you suffer a wipeout. So you start by clearing up the tower dice. Then you drop D3 caps. So the vehicle spins out of control and stuff falls off. So you take these D3 caps, so that's 1, and place them anywhere within an inch. So then the boss to your left is going to choose any 3 dice, as long as none of them is bigger than your vehicle's engine dice, and then roll them into the play area. These are your wipeout dice. So then you resolve these wipeout dice one at a time. You're going to flip through the air, and then you're going to spin, and then you're going to take some damage. And the way that you resolve it is that you look first for the highest wipeout dice. So that's this 6 here. So this vehicle flips forwards 6 inches. It's trying to land there, but it can't, so it moves the minimum distance forward until it can fit. The second stage of the wipeout is to spin. You look at the lowest wipeout dice, and then you pivot about the center until that wipeout dice is within your vehicle's front corridor. So it will spin around until it's within the front corridor, which it just about is. And we discard that one. And then we look at the remaining dice, and we take that many damage. So that remaining dice is a 5, so we stack 5 dice. And that's the wipeout mechanic. So I think that's everything I want to tell you about vehicles in Space Kits. There's plenty of different vehicle chassis types. There's plenty of weapons that you can bolt on, and there's a range of modifications so that you can upgrade your vehicles with additional special rules, whiz-bangs, and general bits of guff. Right, thanks for checking out these vehicle rules for Space Kits. If you haven't already, quick, go back to Kickstarter. It's only got a few days left, and I will catch you real soon. Bye-bye.
Have you got some orcs you want to play a game? Drop some bottle caps onto some nice terrain. Roll some dice and scoot your little gits around. Make a tower of bones, try not to knock it down. To shoot you roll more dice, that's where the bullets go. If you pick up fight, play scissors, paper, stone. Then to loot some shite, you grab the bottle caps. Then you can, oh damn it, Space Kits! I'm gonna finally be someone. Space Kits! I'm gonna cut somebody down. Space Kits! I'm gonna finally be someone. Space Kits! I'm gonna shoot somebody! I'm gonna shoot your git! I've rolled the dice he's hit! I'm gonna scoot this guy! I'm gonna loot this shit! Alright, you're finished now! You're gonna taste my boot! Oh no, it's the fuzz-legged! Space Kits! I'm gonna finally be someone! Space Kits! I'm gonna cut somebody down! Space Kits! I'm gonna finally be someone! Space Kits! I'm gonna shoot somebody! Git! Space Kits, only from Planet Smasher Games.